name is Andrew Stafford. I look after the Ivalua business across Asia Pacific. So just to answer that question, yes, we did launch a report with the organisers here, and I think one of the key takeaways for me was certainly around it validates already what companies are thinking, right? So if I'm a CPO and I'm reading that report, it kind of gives me a comfort that, during the survey, other respondents are kind of feeling the same. So I think there's a certain amount of validation there. I think as well, if you do read the report, it talks a lot about technology and the importance of technology, particularly in the world that we're in today, right? And I think that's such a key. And then if you kind of drill further down in the report, there is some mention around the importance of data. And I think a statistic was about 45% of respondents said that data was a key, or the quality of data was such a key issue for them that they needed to fix. So I think those are some of the elements that I got out of it. But certainly it's a good validation for CPOs to read it. I can't sit here and not mention the COVID word, right? So I think since that time, and I actually challenged some CPOs at a lunch recently, what was your job like before COVID and after COVID? And I think that really comes through in this report, where the relationship that the CPOs have within their organisation, the CFO, CEO, is absolutely critical. And I think that's a big thing that has come out of this. And I think the role of the CPO, we've always talked about their relevance, but I think even more so now, the CPO is a real partner with the CEO and CFO. During the COVID times, there were CPOs that actually saved the company through sourcing properly, saving money, finding supply, and this sort of thing. Ivalua, as a procurement platform, right, is we've been around 26 years. Our organisation, our platform has grown organically. We haven't acquired any businesses, and I think that's really, really important to understand. And we talk about a unified platform rather than an integrated platform. And that unified platform is a single source of code. And if I go back to the previous question, and one of my answers around data, having one code, one platform, one code base, I think is really important in terms of data integrity. So, Ivalua plays a really key role to companies, particularly in this part of the world, in Asia Pacific, because of that unified platform, and then that creates this additional level of flexibility to adapt to all the nuanced markets across Asia Pacific. Yeah, I think diversification is a great word, right, in that question. Again, we can't forget about COVID. It was such a lifetime-changing experience for people and for organizations. And if we go back to that, I think during those times and coming off the back of it, trying to find diversified source of supply is really key. And I think, CPOs today that have helped their businesses and are driving the value, do that, and using platforms again like Ivalua, right, that have the ability to allow that diversification in terms of sourcing and helping your organization. More than ever, it's the openness and transparency you have with your suppliers, right? I think that is really key. I think, the days are long gone of trying to beat your supplier down to get price. I think it's really about creating a partnership, and a true partnership with your suppliers. And again, using technology to create that collaboration is really, really important. I think, again, as a CPO, I think the report creates, as I said at the beginning, a level of validation, right? That, if I read through it, and I'm looking at technology, at data and supplier relationship and all this stuff, it gives me that level of understanding that I'm on the right track. as a CPO. I'm doing the right thing for my business, and as we continue to do this report, it'll kind of continue to grow and expand, and there'll be different elements that come into it. So ESG is really important at the moment, right? Next year there may be something else that we want to talk about. So I think the report is just this level of validation for CPOs. This is probably one of the best procurement events I've been to in a very long time. The level of delegates here, senior people right across the board, the level of engagement, the speakers, people have put a lot of work into creating this event. So I would think, like me, people walking away would really feel excited and enthusiastic about procurement in Southeast Asia and the region in general. So a great event. I couldn't pick two things. There's probably 10 things, but I think it's a really good event. So well done.